Hello everyone, welcome to my new video. I am a feng shui practitioner who has settled in the US for more than 10 years. I have traveled to every state in the US and lived in New York and Los Angeles for a long time, so I have a lot of magical experiences to share with you. If you want to listen to my real experiences with Mexican wizards, Ukrainian who can see ghosts, and Native American graves, please look forward to my later updates. I have been studying divination methods and traditional philosophy since I was a child and realized that the world shares the same pre-modern knowledge system. The principles of traditional medicine, divination, and astrology are the same in all cultures, but they have been edited and changed by later generations. My idea is very simple, which is to extract the remaining common points to simplify these techniques into the most effective and unified system. No matter what the question is, if your answer can't be simple and intuitive, but only obscure and vague, then either you don't know the technique to find the answer, or you don't understand the subject of the question. When we are making predictions to the macro environment and foreign issues, most practitioners have these two problems. So I will take the current situation in the US and President Trump as an example. I will analyze it in three parts from the perspectives of Chinese astrology, feng shui, and ancestral tones. The ancient Chinese observed the stars and used the 28 lunar mansions as a coordinate system, which is the approximate position of the moon every night in the month. Each mansion has a different meaning and belongs to one of the four animal symbols representing four directions. In the center, there are three enclosures, which represent the emperor, the nobles, and the people. When the stars pass through them, within months, the corresponding events will occur in the areas where people can observe it with the naked eyes. The mansions are in charge of different areas on Earth, which is called the division of fields. Many people only know how the division works in China, but in fact, the same division method applies to everywhere in the world with little observation and calculation. Since the latitudes and feng shui conditions of the US and China are relatively similar, they are quite comparable. For example, the mansion of winds belongs to the symbol of the south, which is the phoenix. So in China, it governs the areas of Hunan and Hubei in the south. On the night of March 14th this year, the blood moon was observed across the US, and the total lunar eclipse was in the Winds Mansion, Taiwei enclosure, near Virgo. My friend and I observed this lunar eclipse. From the 13th to the 16th of March, the central and southern US experienced hurricanes, which basically coincided with the positions of Hunan and Hubei in China. So, in addition to wind and rain, what else does it represent? The southern phoenix represents fire in the I Ching system, which is associated with civilization, etiquette, diplomacy, birds, women, and drought. The ancient Chinese astrology text says when the moon eclipses near the winds, the music officials will be dismissed and the rituals and laws will change. Many birds will die, the diplomats will be worried, the rituals and music will be abolished, the diplomats will die on the road. There will be severe drought and locusts will appear. The status of women will also see negative changes. Everyone knows what happened later. The US diplomacy is going through a serious crisis. The immigration problem led to civil unrest. At the same time, it's also experiencing an egg shortage and severe drought. These are two maps of the drought condition in the US last year with this year. As you can see, it's very serious this year. So, what does the Taiwei enclosure represent? The Ziwei enclosure represents emperors and dictators, while Taiwei represents the nobles and bureaucrats, which is associated with oligarchy and the democratic government today. In fact, the feng shui of Washington, D.C. is completely different from the historical capitals in China and Beijing today. Its feng shui breeds nobles, not emperors. I will explain it in the next video. The lunar eclipse in Taiwei enclosure is a signal that the US government will go through something terrible. The last total solar eclipse that covered the entire United States was on April the 8th, 2024, which occurred in the mansion of Bound, near Aries. The Bound mansion belongs to the Western symbol of white tiger, which governs Shandong and can sometimes represent the West when linked with other astronomical phenomena. This solar eclipse caused severe weather in the US from April the 6th to 12th, with wind and rain blowing from Texas to Virginia. Texas is in the west, while Virginia is close to Shandong in relative position. The mansion of Bond represents gathering, which can be associated with social movements and government changes. At the same time, it represents animal husbandry. Everyone has seen the gatherings of people during the US election, and water shortages and high temperatures also led to a 12% drop in beef production and death of cattle in a Texas wildfire. What is interesting is that the total lunar eclipse on January 20th, 2019 occurred in the Mansion of Ghosts near Cancer. The ghost mansion is the Persepi, which symbolizes plagues and death in various cultures, especially a plague associated with the lungs and throat, because the phoenix is fire, and the ghost mansion is associated with the gold or metal element, and fire can melt gold. Our American friends can be relieved that there will be no more total lunar and solar eclipses in the US in the next few years. Some agricultural problems may happen at most. The real big move is on the night of December 31, 2028, when we will see the first blood moon on New Year's Eve in the 21st century. This lunar eclipse will not be visible in the US, but only in the Eastern Hemisphere. The lunar eclipse is in the mansion of Well near Gemini, which generally represents drought, transportation problems, or wars. In modern times, it can also be an oil crisis. The moon also squares Mars that day, and 2028 to 2031 are the years of Shen, You, Geng, Jing, which are all gold or metal years. Overall, a war is likely to happen. Thank you for making it to the end. Don't forget to like, repost, and subscribe to my channel. See you in a few days. Bye!